What you saying, ladies and gents? It is your boy Bucket Sam, and we are back again today for another video. Today's video, you know what it is. You clicked on it. It is football rambling. So since you've clicked on it, how about you just go smash that like button for me? You know it helps, so please do it. Today we're going to be talking all things football. Premier League. We're going to talk about La Liga. We're going to talk a bit about Serie A, Ligue 1, Ligue 1, Ligue 1. I love saying that. Sorry, Ligue 1. We're going to be talking Messi. We're going to be talking the Premier League. And we're going to be talking non-league. You know how it is on this channel. And obviously answering all of your questions. We've had a record number of questions. Obviously, we know the reason for that. I just want to say thank you. If you're new to the channel, you've come across over TikTok, thank you for coming over. This is where I literally go on my walk. It was set up in lockdown when you can only do your one daily exercise walk. I'd go on my walk and I'd answer your questions. Simple as that, really. That's all this is. And it's just me waffling on. No structure, no planning. Simple as that. It's just vibes, baby. But yeah, I'm going to start off. I'm going to talk about PSG. You know, Messi. I still can't get my head around the fact he's gone. He's left Barcelona, but he has done. Oh, watch out for that stick. He has gone. It is absolutely crazy. But we're going to talk a bit about PSG and about the actual system they're going to be playing. We saw them play against Strasbourg in the league, and they won 3-2. And honestly, if they're going to be playing like that this season, they're going to get destroyed by some of the bigger clubs. They played a 4 at the back, and they played with Mbappe playing as a left back. And I think he's more suited to that role because I've always thought he's a little bit clumsy in the centre back position. And not only that, Sergio Ramos is also injured. So that's a big thing. And they are looking actively at the moment for another centre back. That's mental, isn't it? They've just bought Messi, and then they've got Hakimi, they've got Donnarumma, and then they've gone, we need another centre back because Ramos is injured. Ramos isn't fully fit yet. So they went into this game against Strasbourg. Really, they're the favourites. Their squad is too good. They've gone 3-0 up, and Mbappe played absolutely unreal. If he doesn't score, he provides you with assists. He was insane. Running rings around the Strasbourg defence. And then 3-0 up, out of nowhere, they concede 2 headed goals, 2 sloppy defending goals. Very, very odd, very weird, really poor. And watching that, it's going to be very good watching them in the Champions League because they're going to leak goals. But who knows when Ramos comes back into the side. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But one thing I watched them and I thought, Kimpembe playing left back, he did have a lapse in judgment in one moment. He was at fault for one of the goals. But they need, I know obviously Ramos is injured, but whilst Ramos is injured, they need a centre-back who's got experience, a leader. They need Thiago Silva. I still can't get my head around why they let him go. But anyway, that's besides the point. But that's it. My little thing about PSG, I can't wait to see it when Messi does play. Messi will be playing against Rennes at the end of September. It's around the 30th of September, I think. Around at that time, that's when they think he'll be playing. That's just rumours, or it might be the end of August. I might have just butchered that, but it's against Rennes. You can go and look, and they think he will feature in that game, whether he starts or if he comes on the bench. Comes off the bench, he will be playing eventually. So that is my Ligue 1 roundup. I'm going to quickly talk about the La Liga. And oh my word, I'm like in a jungle here. So overgrown. This is where I used to always come, but quite clearly it's not being trimmed. But we are now going to be talking about La Liga. And it links into the Ligue 1. Mbappe, I just spoke about him. Mbappe's contract is still not sorted. Contract runs out next summer. He's refusing to sign a contract at the moment. I think he wants Madrid. He's come out and said that in the past, so it's not really like a stab in the dark or anything like that, really. I'm just stating the obvious, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens because PSG have said, we've given you everything you needed. You wanted to win trophies, but I think he wants to challenge himself elsewhere. And obviously he wants to go to Real Madrid, and with Messi leaving La Liga, there's a gaping hole right now, a vacuum, you may say, of a gap that's been left by Messi. There is no superstar, really. Yes, you've got Bale, you've got Benzema, you've got Braithwaite. Sorry, that was a bit hard. But you've got a massive gap. That there's not a superstar, and Mbappe fits that mould, the old Ronaldo mould or the Messi mould that has been left. I think he'd be perfect for Real Madrid, but we'll have to wait and see with that because I don't want him going on a free. But at the moment, it could look like he could be going on a free not this summer, the summer after. But we'll have to wait and see. But it was very nice to see in La Liga, Real Madrid play a front three of Benzema, Bale and Hazard, and it worked really well. It was really nice to see. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just nice to see. You want to see Bale play. Obviously, Bale's a great player. We saw him in the Premier League. Best minutes to goal ratio in the Premier League last season if you played over 10 games. And it's good to see that Ancelotti is using him. So I'm quite happy with that. What a lovely day though, but it's really, really windy. But I'm going to answer your questions because I can't believe the amount of questions. And as I said, I just want to thank everyone for following and loving the TikTok, because I know we're on YouTube here, but the YouTube has grown so much in the last probably 3 weeks. I set up the TikTok on the 15th of August to put my first video out. Is it the 15th of August? That can't be right because that'd have been 2 days ago. That wouldn't have been right. The 17th of July? 22nd of July, there we go. Why did I struggle with that? 22nd of July I put my first video out, and at this very moment in time I've just hit 8,100 followers on TikTok. I cannot believe it. Over 500,000 views on the channel. You guys seem to love it, and that's why I've been bombarded with so many non-league questions. So we're going to talk about the Premier League quickly, a bit of a roundup of the results. Let's talk about Man City and Tottenham. What a game that was. And I know a lot of people say, oh, it was boring. I thought tactically, I thought it was brilliant to watch. Very interesting to see how Man City will play without a striker. And I think the problem is, when you've got when you're better defensively, like Tottenham are, and a well-drilled Nuno side, they can sit back. And I think the problem was Fernandinho in this game. I know he's been brilliant for so many years and people love him, but I think Fernandinho was at fault in this game. Fernandinho hasn't got the legs that he used to, and he was quite high up, so on a few counter attacks you saw, especially for the goal, you saw Fernandinho trying to run back, trying to get back to Mora, who broke the line from the counter attack. But that's the thing, he has to be goal side of these players because he's not going to catch up with them. But it's going to be interesting to see how Man City kind of go from here. It's only the first game. A lot of people get ahead of themselves. Tottenham fans, don't get ahead of yourselves that you're going to win the league. Man City fans, don't get ahead of yourself and think you're not going to win the league, because it's the first game. And that's one thing I'm going to keep reminding you all in this video, on this rambling. It is the first week. Arsenal fans, it is the first week. Brentford fans, it's the first week. Leeds, everyone who's going berserk. Twitter blew up, Arteta out. Just all remember, guys, first week, let's all just relax a second and let's just step back and look at the situation, okay? But yes, let's quickly go on to the questions, because I think I've got some Tottenham questions in here anyway. So here we go. From Ricky Hersey, thank you for sending the question. Do you think Chelsea made the right decision in going for Lukaku? This is a really interesting one. And this Lukaku deal, I think Lukaku, I've said it before, outside of Kane and Lewandowski, I think right now, polished, this very moment in time, before the Haaland people come on to me, I think he's the third best striker in the world. But for the amount they've paid, I don't understand why they didn't try and go in for Haaland, because you're looking at 30-40 million more for a player who you'll get probably 10 years out of. Whereas Lukaku's a lot older, he's probably 7 or 8 years older. But with Lukaku, what you're going to get, you can get a strong, athletic beast. This guy's a beast. His finishing is unreal. He'll turn any defender. And what I've noticed, obviously, you guys know I love the Serie A. I watched a lot of him last season. One thing he changed from his game when he was at Man United is his touch is better. And mainly his conditioning. When he was at Man United under Mourinho, and we saw it as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer kind of pushed him out the door, he was very bulky because Mourinho wanted him to be that huge focal point, the number 9, the bully up front. When Lukaku is, yes, he's big, yes, he's strong, but one thing he has got is serious pace. And what you want him to be conditioned enough so then he can, yes, he can still bully defenders, but then he can also sprint, whereas Mourinho wanted him on the weights. Mourinho really made him a wide striker who was the focal point, whereas when he went to Serie A under Antonio Conte wanted him playing as a front two in the 3-5-2 system that they played into last year, and he played up top with Lautaro Martinez. And one thing I noticed is he seems a lot slimmer. When I say a lot slimmer, he's still huge. He's still an absolute beast. And I cannot stress that, beast, okay? In caps, beast. But no, Lukaku, absolutely unreal last season. The goals he scored, and he literally does the same thing. He can, but the thing is, what he's focused on, the goals that he used to score in the Premier League, where he back into a defender, you play it into his strong left foot, and he will roll the outside of his boot, or he'll roll, take it on his inside, and will spin defenders, because He can hold off any defender. There is no defender, and he openly says this. He did an interview with Jamie Carragher. He doesn't think there's a single defender in the world that can handle him when he has his back to goal. So that's what he does. He takes the ball in and spins defenders. Whereas in this Antonio Conte system that he's played last season, it was a very low block, and they'd counter a lot of teams. They didn't really have possession in games. And one thing we saw is he could get in behind, because he had to. With the low box system, the counter attacks, he'd make runs, he'd drive with the ball from deep, and we saw that link up with Lautaro Martinez was absolutely unreal. And I hope, I don't think it will happen, but if Tuchel wanted to try and replicate the way he was playing under Antonio Conte, he could potentially go for a 2 up top with a kind of him and Werner kind of system, because Werner is more similar to Lautaro. Obviously he's taller than Lautaro, but he's a fast, tricky striker who hasn't got the best finishing. Let's just say that about Werner, but he does work hard, and he potentially may work out very well with Lukaku, but I don't think that, because majority of the time Tuchel loves one striker up top on their own. I think that's what Lukaku will be, the focal point up top who can also do everything else. I think, but if I was going to create a striker, if online when you're playing on FIFA and things like that, you would create someone like Lukaku, big, strong, fast, great finisher, powerful. Honestly, he's a perfect striker. But what I can't get my head around is, as I've said, I don't understand why they haven't gone in for Haaland. When you think Haaland is literally just a younger version of Lukaku. Yes, Lukaku is the finished product, but with Haaland you get so many more years, and the amount they've spent, 97.5 million. I don't understand what their view is. Maybe there's something that we don't know. Potentially release clauses about him getting sold next summer. But I think what Chelsea are building is absolutely huge here. And I think they can't go unnoticed, because I had them as potential title challengers. I didn't think they were quite there, but I think with this Lukaku signing, they're pretty much there. The strength they have going forward, Werner, Havertz, Lukaku. Obviously they've got Tammy Abraham out the door, but I've always said I don't think Tammy Abraham is the top 4 striker. He's not going to win you titles. He's a very good squad player, a player who can play very well, and I think he'll be more suited to a Mourinho system where he's big, he's strong, you can play the ball up to him, and yes, he's tricky. So he'll suit the system at Roma for Mourinho, but that's beside the point. I'm talking about Chelsea here. What has been brilliant to see is that Tuchel's bringing in a lot of the youth players. Obviously, Billy Gilmore's been sat on loan, which I think was perfect for him in Norwich. Going to be interesting to see how he copes. As we saw against Liverpool, he's probably never played in a system or a style where it's just constant pressure on them defensively. So it's going to be interesting to see how he copes with it. But I think it's perfect. It's a great experience to learn, as you see with a lot of these players who come up through the youth. They don't have that grit, they don't have that fight in them, and this will provide him with that fight. But honestly, it's going to be interesting to see how he copes this season. But Chelsea, I think, are really building something quite neat, very, very good. And I'd be quite worried if I was a rival fan in the top 4 of what Chelsea could potentially do. So all of that was just to answer your question. Ricky Hersey, if that's how you say it, I think that was right. I haven't looked at my phone again. Ricky Hersey, I think he is the perfect fit for this Chelsea side, because what you get with Thomas Tuchel, you're defensively sound, and as we saw against Man City, they counter. Lukaku has been spending the entire last season in a low block side that play counter-attacking football, which is what Thomas Tuchel does against the bigger sides. Against the smaller sides, Lukaku will bully defenders. He can play with his back to goal, where he's in the opposition box and you play it into him, and he will roll defenders. He will have to be they'll have to double up on Lukaku, and even then it'll be hard to stop. So I think he's the perfect player for Chelsea. I think he's one of the most underrated strikers. So 10 out of 10 signing for me. That is huge for the title race. Potentially, if they don't win the league this year, they'll certainly challenge for it, whether they get FA Cup or if they go for the Man City. Sorry, I mean the Carabao Cup, not the Man City Cup. Oh, that was a poor joke, ignore me. But it's really suited, and he does look good in the Chelsea shirt. Obviously that's where he came from. Well, he signed when he was 16 from Anderlecht, and obviously went to the mighty West Brom on loan. We can say West Brom made him. Come on, you can let me take that, surely. Can I have that? Yeah, I'm going to have that. Don't know what's going on over there, some very weird noises. Anyway, let's get on to the next questions. Here we go. Thank you for that question there, Ricky Hersey. Joshua Malaki. What's needed to fix Arsenal this season? And oh my word, this is what I've said. A lot of people, I've had so many questions about Arsenal. Arsenal this, Arsenal that, Arteta out. Give the guy some time. It's one game. You're playing against Brentford at the Brentford Community Stadium. First time they've been in the Premier League in this ground. First time fans have been back for 18 months, properly, full capacity. You saw the atmosphere was rocking. That would have been so intimidating for that Arsenal side, and especially how young it was. The main thing for me, what the thing that needs to be sorted at Arsenal, that needs fixing, is Aubameyang and Lacazette. How on earth two players can fall ill? I'm going to say ill in quotations because I'm not going to accuse them of anything, but pretty suspicious to me that two players fall ill the day of their opening fixture, and then they're out for this weekend as well, whilst they're both being linked with moves away to Spain. Lacazette linked to Atleti, and Aubameyang linked to Barcelona. Very odd to me. I don't understand. Balogun thrown in the deep end. It's unfair to put pressure on a youngster like him and people blaming him for his performance. Fewest touches in the game. I think it was around 13, 14 touches in the entire game. But it's a difficult place to go. No one wants to play newly promoted sides. Look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa were predicted to finish potentially in European spots. They come up against Watford, newly promoted. No one expected Watford to win. I certainly didn't. And they put 3 past the Villa side, had one of the best defences in the league last year. Just shows you can't look into the first game. We can really decide if something needs fixing at Arsenal in 4-5 games time, and then we can really see the pressure, because Arsenal have got a very difficult run here. And I'll tell you now, if they get a win against, I think it's Man City they've got coming up as well, Man City and maybe Tottenham or something like that, or whoever they've got coming up, or is it Chelsea, I don't know off the top of my head, then we can decide if something needs fixing. But one thing that does need fixing is the transfer policy. It's so all over the place, and I said it on a recent podcast, on the Hopeless Wanderers podcast. Go check that out because it's a brilliant podcast. But I think it's a drunk club. I don't understand the transfer policy. I think they've been signing youth players, brilliant young talent that's coming through. Lukaku, oh my word, but you know what I'm trying to say, the central midfielder from Anderlecht, looked absolutely brilliant in that game. I thought the energy he brought, I thought he looked very good. Yes, he looked a bit cagey, but you're going to expect that in your first game in the Premier League. And then the Willian signing, giving Xhaka today an extension. I don't get it. You either invest in youth and go for all these youth talent and get rid of the dead wood, the players who are older, who haven't been performing. They give contracts to players like Xhaka, who's been really poor recently. I don't get it. But anyway, I'm not going to rant. The only thing I think needs sorting at Arsenal is a clear path. You don't look at Arsenal and you don't understand what formation they're going to play. Their normal starting 11, it changes every week. What kind of style of play they're going to play. You know they're going to pass out from the back, but that's it. I prefer when a club has a quite clear pathway, clear vision, and they're going for it. I see the project Man United are building, what Man City are building. I'm starting to see with Patricio, I think his name is Patricio. It's something like that, the new technical director or sporting director at Tottenham, what they're trying to build, but I cannot understand, I cannot fathom and even comprehend what Arsenal are trying to do. It's all over the place. So they just need a straight path. But Josh, give it time and we can discuss what they need to fix in 4 games time. It's too early to say things are wrong and to call for Arteta's head. So let's just wait and see what happens, because there's still 2 weeks, still 2 weeks left of the transfer window. So anything can happen still. So let's just wait and we'll judge, and we'll come back to this question, Josh, in potentially 3 or 4 weeks. Anyway, that's enough of Arsenal, and now let's get on to the next questions. So I've had loads in. Honestly, I cannot believe the amount of people that seem to be enjoying this. Abdur890. Will Grealish score lots of goals, or will he have a bad season? Grealish will have an unreal season. I don't care what people say after that performance. A lot of people said he was really poor, same as in the Community Shield. This guy has talent. We saw it for England. We saw it for Villa. He's done it for so many years. Let's just pretend the price tag isn't there, because the price tag, people get ahead of themselves. Today's market, players, inflation, prices going through the roof. Just push. I know it's hard to push the 100 million price tag aside, but let's just look at him as a player. We know he's going to be unreal. It takes time for players to suit to the Pep Guardiola system, because Grealish has gone from being the main man at a team to being a captain, and the first name on the team sheet ahead of anyone else. And when he was at Villa, yes, this is going to sound disrespectful, but Villa's tactic was give Grealish the ball and let him do his thing. He would carry the ball into any position and win hundreds of free kicks. It's going to take time. He's playing on the left-hand side with Sterling wherever Sterling is playing. And it's going to take time for those two to gel. It doesn't help when you've got Benjamin Mendy playing at left-back in that first game. But I think he'll really suit. Eventually, when he moves the ball a bit faster, he'll win some vital free kicks for them. I think he will be a great player. Just give him time. As I've said again, it's the first game of the season, but I do genuinely think Jack Grealish will be huge for Man City this year. In the Champions League, he's an unreal player. I have big things coming. I think there's big things coming for Grealish. I'm going to see a new level. Once he understands the Guardiola system and what Guardiola wants from him, I think we're going to see a changed player, a machine, a guy who works back, wins the ball back, drives with the ball, moves the ball fast, sees new things, and I think he'll suit the system so well. So Abda, I think he will be huge, and I think he's a great player. Raw Football Talk, have asked me who's winning the Prem this season. I've said I think it's going to be Man City, and I stick by that. I think the choices realistically are Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, because they've got Van Dijk back. Jeez, this is getting a bit... We're going to turn around here. It's getting a little bit overgrown. Come on, guys. Let's sort this out. Let's cut it out. Anyway, sorry, it's not a funny joke. But, yeah, I think it's between Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea. I still don't think Man United are there. I know a lot of people get ahead of themselves for the 5-1 win. We saw Pogba play, but can Pogba do it across the course of the season? This is what he does. He comes in and out of games. I'm somebody I think Pogba is overrated personally. I know he's had an absolutely unreal game, a hat-trick of assists. I still don't think he's consistent enough. So this season may be the season when he's got better players around him. We'll have to wait and see. And I think the Varane signing is huge. But as I've said, I still don't see under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer where I can't see a trophy coming under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But we'll have to wait and see. That's just me personally. I'm sorry, guys. I know that annoy a lot of Man United fans, but I just don't see the clear conviction from him on the side. And he's got a really good bunch of players. And if Man United have got a chance this season or potentially the next few seasons with the talent they've got coming through, because they've got invested in a lot of youth players. So we'll have to wait and see. I think that's more of a long-term project the next couple of years. But they need a trophy this year, whether it's FA Cup, whether they go for the Champions League, Europe. Oh, I can't think. Where did they finish last year? Yeah, whether they get further in the Champions League this year, don't crash out against Leipzig this year. We'll have to wait and see. But I think there's something building there, but I think it's just a bit early to call for them. But good. Thank you, Raw Football Talk. Robin Cornell. Do Norwich have the players to stay up? I think this year anyone has the chance to stay up. I think there are so many sides in that bottom half of the table that could when I say bottom half of the table, potentially that could finish in the bottom half of the table, that could get relegated. And I think Norwich have the potential. They've got a good squad, a great manager. It's just hopefully Ben Gibson and Grant Hanley can be more consistent. I've noticed Grant Hanley in that first game, he did seem a little bit out of depth, but if they just stick, I think Grant Hanley's not suited to the passing out from the back. As I said before, Ben Gibson is perfect for it. But we're just going to have to wait and see. I think Norwich could potentially, if they get a bit of form together, keep that togetherness. But you've got a tough opening few fixtures. So hopefully after that, you can gather some momentum against the sides around you. But honestly, I think you could. I predicted you would before the start of the season. But as I said, it's the first game. It's too early to call these things. Oh, here we go. Now, see, look, I've had another one from the official footy lads. How would you fix Arsenal? I've just explained. I still think it's too early. Jacob T. Wilkinson has asked, who do you support? I support the mighty West Broms, who currently, off the back of the first two games in the Championship, doing pretty well. 2-2 against Bournemouth, 3-2 against Luton. Lots of goals. Valérien Ismaël, lovely football. But I'm not going to talk about West Brom because no one's really asked. You've just asked me who I support. So there you go. But the mighty West Brom, hopefully they're getting promoted. Come on. But here we go. A lot of people have asked, can I go to specific grounds? Message me personally and I'll add them to the list. I've had requests all over the country. Just send them in rather than on the football talk. The football rambling, because I can't really answer a question like that because people have said, can you go to Atherstone's ground? from 28 Josh. Just message me about it rather than me putting it in the rambling, because it's not great content. Would be your dream match to watch live? I think they're saying what would be your dream. But from Stephen Jacko 993, right now, before it was to go to the why have my mind gone blank? I wanted to go to the Milan Stadium. What is the Milan Stadium? Why is my mind gone blank? Does this happen to anyone else, or is it just me? But I wanted to go to, oh my word, how has my mind gone this blank? I'm having a moment, but I wanted to go to the Milan Stadium that is getting demolished in around 2024, 2026. But now I want to go and see Paris Saint-Germain. I haven't seen Messi play in my life, and I know he's coming to the end of his career. So I want to watch Messi. And if it means I get to watch Neymar and Mbappe and Di Maria and all the rest of the talent they've got on, hell yeah. Whether I'll go to Strasbourg and watch PSG away, I don't care. I need to see PSG play this year, because I think I need to see Ronaldo as well before they both retire, because I think I'd regret it for the rest of my life. The San Siro, there it is. Sorry, the San Siro, that is the ground I would like to go to. So San Siro is a ground I would like to go to, and PSG is a team I would like to see, or maybe even Juve after their signing today of from Sassuolo. They've signed Locatelli, but I don't know why I've just told you that. But I would like to go and see. I want to see Ronaldo and Messi play. That's really what I'm trying to say. That's quite funny. The next question. So Steve Jacko said, what would be your dream match to watch live? And then divided opinion have said dream ground you'd like to visit. So I've answered both of your questions, guys. Thank you both. And I'm going to answer this question then. Supreme Gamer have asked me, what is your favourite non-league team? I don't have favourites. I can have favourite grounds from the grounds I've been to so far. So I've done, I think, 11 reviews so far on the old TikTok. Obviously, you know me, I go around non-league grounds anyway. I did this before COVID. I've just started recording them now, making content. If you haven't checked it, go check out the TikTok. It is just the Bucket Hat Sam. I just do non-league ground reviews and probably just laugh about a bit and drink beer. That's it, really, plain and simple. But Notts County is such a stunning stadium. Really nice stadium, really like that club. But Leamington is a really nice little setup, really like that. But so far, my favourite non-league club I've visited, and like kind of the community that they had there, would either Watch FC, which if you're an OG on this channel, I've always said about how much I love that ground. It's literally on the side of a cliff. The pitch is very, very small. It's like 11th tier of football. But I'd say Coventry United. I went to Coventry United and I thought it was a really nice little setup, really homely atmosphere. Everyone was really nice. People came over to me and spoke to me, really nice. And they had a club mascot that was a frog, and I just thought that was just cool. So yeah, I'd say that. And I'm going to answer the last question now. So there you go, Supreme 4 Gamer. What I'm going to say is then Coventry United, but I'm just saying favourite ground. And it's a whole community vibe. There's flats around it. It just felt like a real togetherness around the club, and you could see on the sideline all the fans were all friends and they were all meeting up. It was quite very sociable, really nice atmosphere, and a really good game of football. Very good standard. I think they won 3-0. Very, very good standard. And the final question from Josh Official. I don't know who Josh Official is. Who is going to win the championship? Oh, well, I originally said on my video I thought Sheffield United. They've not had the best of starts, but as I've said, it's too early to call. 2 games in, they've got West Brom tomorrow night on the Wednesday. There's a lot of championship games on tonight. Josh, brilliant question. I can't go against my prediction, because then I'd just be a hypocrite for this entire video where I've told people not to jump ship too early. But I think Sheffield United was what I originally thought. I'm going to say it's between them. Fulham have got a good side, but I still don't rate the manager. I still don't think he's the right man. I'm going to say West Brom. I think it could either be Sheffield United or West Brom, and I'll probably just laugh at myself in about a year's time when I look back at this and both sides didn't get promoted and I look stupid. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for sending in all your questions. If I haven't answered your questions, I promise you I've saved them and I will answer them as soon as possible. But as I said, guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate the this wave I'm on at the moment. A lot of people seem to be really positive. People really enjoy the videos. I see all of you and I appreciate all of you, so thank you guys for sending your questions. Thank you for watching. As I said before, please smash that like button, comment below anything if you disagree, if you just want to talk about football. I always reply to all the comments. But yeah, guys, thank you again. I'm just really appreciative of you all at the moment. So thank you for watching, guys. Bucket Hat Sam over and out on this lovely, lovely summer's day. Goodbye.